Hey guys, welcome back. Today we will be seeing how to create a Windows-based virtual machine or VM on Microsoft Azure. So once you log on to Azure, you see an Azure portal, and then on the home screen you see a virtual machine button that we'll be using to create a new VM. So let's click on that button and then click on the add button here and then select virtual machine. Now it's asking us to fill in some details about the VM that we'll be creating. The first detail that we need to enter is the resource group. Now, a resource group is a collection of one or more virtual machines, databases, Redis, and whatnot on Azure. So that is what a resource group is. You can click on create new link over here to create a new resource group, but I will not be doing that because I already have a resource group and I'll be using that one to create my VM. So I'll click this drop down and then select the resource group that I already have. Now the next detail that we'll need to enter is the name of the VM. For that I'll enter VM2. I've not entered VM1 because I already have a VM by that name. So I've entered VM2, but you can use any name that you like over here. We can leave the region set to default, which in my case is East US, but it could be different in your case depending upon your geographic location. We can leave the availability options set as default as well. For image, we need to change the image type to Windows because we'll be creating a Windows-based machine. So we need to select Windows operating system from the drop-down. So let's select that and then click on Windows 10 Pro. Now for the VM size, I've set at B1S, but depending on your use case, you can select a different VM size. So if you click on select size, you see here that Azure provides a variety of VM sizes based upon your workload. So based on how much CPU you want, how much RAM you want, how much storage you want, you can select a different type of VM size. But for my case, this is just a demo. So I've selected B1S, which is the cheapest available VM size that I have. So I've selected B1S and now I'll hit the select button. Now I'm gonna provide a username to this VM. So let me provide a username which is Windows admin. Now I need to provide a password, which is what I'll be using to connect and log into this VM. So I'll enter a password. I'll re-enter the same password again. Alright, the next information that it's asking us is to select any inbound ports that we'll be using to connect to this VM. Now, since this is a Windows-based virtual machine, we'll be connecting to it using RDP. For Linux-based VM, we connect to it usually using SSH. Now, RDP is already selected by default, so we'll keep it that way. The 33389 is the port number on which RDP runs, so that is already selected by default. Next, we'll check this checkbox that says that we already have a license for Windows 10. So all this looks good. The next step is to click this review plus create button. So we'll click that. Now Azure will run some sort of validation on the input settings that we have provided. And as you can see here that the validation has passed, which means that all the information that we have provided to Azure regarding this VM are valid and correct. The final step is to click the create button. Clicking the create button will start the VM deployment on Azure, as you can see on this window. The message is deployment is in progress. So This will take a couple of minutes. Alright guys, so as you can see, the deployment of our Windows based VM is complete now. So we'll click on this button which says go to resource to go to this VM, and then we can see that the status is already running, so our VM is up and running already, which is nice. So let's connect to it by clicking on the connect button, and then from the drop down we'll select RDP. We'll click on this button to download the RDP file onto our computer. So let's click on it. We see that the RDP file is downloaded and it's called vm2.rdp. So let's open it. After opening this file, we get this message saying whether we want to connect to this VM or not. Since this is a known VM that we just created, I'll check this message that says don't ask me again for connections to this VM, and then click on connect. Now it's asking for us for the credentials to connect to this VM. We'll enter the same credentials that we entered while setting this VM up. Remember, these are the same credentials that we entered while we were setting up our VM on Azure. Once we enter this credential, we'll click OK. Now it's asking us whether we trust the certificate that this VM is providing. So we'll check this box again that says don't ask me again for connections to this VM, and then hit on yes. So as you can see, the connection is being made to this VM. It has opened a new RDP window, and we can see that the VM is now loading. Alright, so it looks like our VM has finished loading, and it has selected us, or it has presented us with a bunch of privacy settings that we are gonna leave as default for now. So let's click accept. Great. So as you can see, our Windows based VM is already up, loaded and running pretty fine. So let's check it out. I'll navigate to google.com to see how it works. Great. So looks like our VM is running fine. Alright guys, so hope you enjoyed this video. In this video, we created a new Windows VM and successfully deployed and connected to it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. In the meantime, have a nice day. Bye.